Oh, well, bring it here to me really quickly. I have a catch-up crisis. Hang on just a second.
I got it recording. I got it
Oh,
recording.
thank you so much. Okay, bring me your plate. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you all a PowerPoint that Dr. Rhodes has for you. And you all should be able to see it now. Do you see it? Everyone see it? Okay. All right, so welcome to TEL, Teacher Educators Leading and Learning. Again, I was welcoming you just a minute ago and we were sharing your favorite restaurants and why you liked them. So thank you for sharing those. Some of them I've not tried, so I'll have to try that out. One of which is in Puerto Rico that I'm going to have to try as well. So I'm going to get Ryan on that one so that we can go. Okay, so I would love to start us out with prayer, and then we will, Miss Katie Bruner is going to introduce our speaker tonight. I'm so excited for you all to hear from our speaker. I'm not going to give it away yet, but he is Dr. Ryle, and I had him in class this past fall, and Dr. Ryle has gone to visit him in Louisville a couple times. He actually took the play. I was supposed to go visit this awesome speaker tonight and watch him teach in class, but I kind of had a baby, so I was not able to do that. So Dr. Ryle did it for me. Dr. Ryle also got lots of Starbucks because of that. I sent him lots of Starbucks as a thank you. Anyway, so all that to say, I'm really excited for you to hear from our speaker this evening. He has a wealth of knowledge with ELL, ESL students working with English language learners. So I am so happy that you're here to hear from him. And Miss Katie Bruner is going to introduce him in just a second. But before we begin, I would love to open us with a word of prayer. Let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for this incredible group of students. You have blessed Asbury richly. You have blessed the professors richly with such amazing people. Lord, I just pray for every single person represented here tonight. I pray for those that cannot be with us. And Lord, I just pray that you would be with us over this next hour. Would you bless the conversation and discussion? Would you be with each student as they are going about their week, as they're walking through life, as they are experiencing challenges, as they are experiencing exciting things, maybe hard things, happy things? Lord, you walk with us through it all, and we're so thankful for that. So Father, would you just go before us in this next hour and bless our time together? It's in your name that we pray. Amen. All right, Katie. I'm going to stop sharing and you can take it away.
All right, thanks. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Mr. Cardona is originally from Puerto Rico. He completed a bachelor and master's degree in education in Puerto Rico. And after a year of teaching English there, he moved to the US to continue his teaching career. He taught Spanish for 2 years, and then he transitioned to English as a second language. Currently, he is an Asbury alum, and he works as a high school ESL teacher at Jessamine County Public Schools, and also as an adult education ESL teacher at Jessamine Career and Technology Center right here in town. We're so excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing tonight.
First of all, thank you for having me here. You don't know how terrified but happy I am right now to be right here and talking in front of you. And I'm just gonna get started because I don't want to waste your time. And yeah, but again, thank you for everything. And I'm gonna start sharing my screen if it's okay with you guys. And let's you need to please, if any of you can give me access to to be able to share my screen.
I just did that. You're all set now.
Okay, awesome. That works.
Try it again. Yeah, try it again.
Perfect. Nothing. We're gonna start it, and we're gonna start with this. Let me start over right here. Perfect. Now, we're gonna start with this. While I am loading this, because it's taking a long time, please go to this link. I'm gonna post it also on the chat, so it should be a little bit easier for you to reach. Go right here, if you could please go to that link, which is pauliv.com slash, much better. If you could please go there, I'll appreciate it. Here I have the instructions. If you've never used this before, whenever you open the link, the step 1, you'll write your name, first and last name, then you'll click continue. The second step will be that you're gonna see this this message that says that the presentation is underway. Okay, you're just gonna leave that there, and then as soon as you're there, come back to the Zoom presentation so you can see my screen, and you can either write done or you can insert thumbs up emoji. Let me know that you completed this step, and then we're gonna wait. I'm gonna give you a few seconds so you can do it. And also, if it doesn't work or you're struggling with, don't worry about it, because we can also use the chat to answer. If you've never used this before, you can do so many things, which I will show you right now. I mean, in a few minutes, how this works. Okay. Again, whenever you're done, please write on the chat or put thumbs up to let me know that you are already here. Awesome. I see a lot of dons. That's awesome. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now we're going to get started. Okay. So, hola, buenas noches y bienvenidos. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre inglés como segundo lenguaje y estrategias que pueden usar con aprendices del lenguaje de inglés. La paciencia y comprensión son la clave. Okay. So now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go back to that tab that you were supposed to leave open, and you're going to answer this question. How much were you able to understand from what I just said in Spanish? Okay. You can be honest with this. If you understood most of the things, if you could understood some things, if you understood everything, that's okay. I won't see your names, and that's okay. Okay, so we have already almost every response right now. If it doesn't let you, that's okay. You can either put it in the chat as well if it doesn't allow you. Okay, so if you notice, most of you understood some things, right? The other of you understood nothing, and then only a third of you understood everything or almost everything. Okay, with this, that's how most of students, when they move to the US, that's what happens to them. They don't understand. They are lost. They're like, what is the teacher talking about? And sometimes we as teachers, we don't think about it. And this is an example of this. This is exactly what I just said. I said, hola, buenas noches y bienvenidos. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre inglés como segundo lenguaje y estrategias que pueden usar con aprendices del lenguaje de inglés. La paciencia y comprensión son la clave. Okay, so if any of you can either raise your hand, you can put it in the chat, you can unmute yourself. That will be awesome. how is this different to what I did the first time? If any of you can, if you like to participate.
Well, you spoke a lot slower,
Yes.
and you also had like some little cues with your pictures that popped up when you were speaking to give like a context clue.
Excellent. That's perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I did. So if you, like you said, I spoke a little bit lower, slower. I use images, I use words to just help you probably understand more words than the previous activity that I did. So now you're gonna answer this one. Were you able to understand more this time? Maybe just a bit more, just yes, a lot more, not really. Perfect.
Hey, dear.
Oh, wow. So if you notice the difference in your responses, 80% of you understands a little bit more than the first time. 20% of you, yes, a lot more. That tells you that with those three things that I just did, that wasn't a big thing. You guys were able to understand a little bit more than what I said the first time. And that is a little bit of mind blowing, you know, how powerful these things can be. Okay, so nothing. The next thing that we're gonna do is this. And this question, you're gonna stay on that page. Please respond without, don't look on Google, don't search it up. How many languages do you think are spoken in the US? Just a number, just guess. 224, 40, I see. Oh, those words are getting 40, 100, 50, okay. So the background is not helping, but we can see it. Very good. Very good. That is excellent. Yeah, so, oh, wow. Actually, one of you got it right, and a lot of you were very close, and this is awesome. So, according to US.gov, there are more than 3 languages spoken in the US. So that means that anywhere we go in the US, we're gonna find a person that speaks another language than English. So what that tells you is that it is so common that you're gonna see someone that speaks another language. And we need to understand that we are gonna have students who are also part of those more than 300 and something languages around the world. So nothing. I was looking at my Facebook the other day, and one of my friends posted this. He moved to the US, and he said, being bilingual is not easy. First of all, my thinking process is in Spanish. That's true. Then I have to translate. In addition, I have to double check that everything that I'm about to say makes sense. Then I have to probably change some words because I don't know how to pronounce them. And finally, I can speak. And that happens to all of us who speaks more than one language. That thought process is so hard because we're thinking, we're translating, we're doing everything at the exact same moment. And I don't know, it's just the real struggle that we go through. And now that we are out of that thing, I'm gonna go straight to strategies, because that's what you're here for. You're not here to listen to my story. So you're here to listen a little bit of strategies. So the first one, which I don't know if you know this, Google Slides has a built-in closed captions that you can use for your classes. Whenever you are teaching in person or teaching virtually, you can add closed captions. And let me show you how to do it. And we're gonna keep those closed captions uh, because it's fun. I like it. So on the bottom left corner of your screen, you're gonna see right here, you have three dots. You're gonna click there, and then where it says caption preferences, you're gonna go to toggle captions. Select that thing, and here we are. Okay. One of the things that will happen to us, whom like our first language is not English, we're gonna make tons of mistakes. And you're gonna notice here that whenever I'm talking, it will probably say things that I thought I said, but it's gonna be very close to what I said. Okay. And the thing is that this is a beautiful thing for you, your students, but not only ESL students, also students who struggle with, like, you have listening students, you have visual students, you have students that will love to see words whenever you're talking. And this will help a ton of students, not only ESL kids. Like I said, I'm gonna leave this here throughout the whole presentation and see how good I am speaking in English a little bit. So this particular thing, I'm gonna try to go as fast as possible. We as teachers, we need to set expectations. We need to have a structure for our students. In my classroom, I always start with a warm-up question, and it usually doesn't have to do anything with the class, because I love to have them think about other things besides the class. Also, an agenda, the things that we're going to talk about today. For example, the first thing I said, make you confused with Spanish. That was my first thing in the agenda. And then that sort of help with, of course, lastly, the objective. I choose two objectives, which is wrong, by the way. You need to choose only one. But I wanted to give you different options. So I like to always make the verb colored so they actually know what I'm looking for. And then for our objective, which is related to this type of lesson, it's not a lesson, but try to do it that way. This is what I went to. One important thing is I don't have a classroom. I always move it around, and so I have to have this and everywhere in my board. But in your case, if you have a classroom, you can put this on a board, and this will help you so much, not only for you and your students, but imagine a student who arrives late and doesn't know what to do. You can have that on the board, and this is what we're doing today. That's awesome. So nothing, structure and those things are very important. Things to do and not to do whenever you're teaching. Modeling. I think modeling is one of the key aspects, and I'm not talking about this type of modeling. This is not the one. Don't get me wrong on that one. It's about show them what they are expected to do or produce. I don't know if you notice at the beginning, I put the instructions, and this is what you have to do. Wait here, go here, stop here, come back. Those were my expectations. I didn't model it, but I show you pictures of the things that you were going to see. So you had something to follow. And of course, do not just tell students what to do and expect them to do it, because you might have a few things. The rate of speech and wait time, which is something I also did at the beginning in purpose. I was speaking very fast, but the thing you have to do is you need to speak slowly and clear and provide students with enough time to formulate their responses. Remember, they are translating everything on their heads. So just give them time so they can process everything. And please, 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 because this is what they're going to see. This is you talking, right? When you talk too fast. That's what they're going to say. It happened so fast. If you know Kevin, you know. And then this will probably be their face whenever you're done speaking. Okay? So we need to be very careful of the things of how we speak. And that is so important. So please, please do not speak too fast. The other thing is the use of non-linguistic cues. And on this one, of course, we can use visuals, sketches, gestures, intonation, and other non-verbal cues. If you noticed from the beginning of this presentation, I've been using images, just key things that might help you and other students to understand a little bit more of what's happening. And please, please, please do not stand in front of the class and just give a lecture. Just don't stand there or sit on your desk and teach the lesson, unless you're teaching it. Given instructions, you can do verbal and written instructions. That is so important, and especially if you have images, and you have to be as literal as possible. Like on the first one, on the first instructions that I had, like I said, I have step 1, step 2. I had an arrow pointing at the things you have to do. And this example right here that you guys do, that whenever, if you've been on an airplane, you know that you have to see this awesome lady, because I forgot her name, doing all the motions and everything. And the same thing happens with the students. If you don't show them instructions, like step by step, they will be lost. And in here, you don't even need to use words. Because just imagine you're on an airplane, you don't speak English, and you see these images. You don't need to understand English to understand what you need to do, right? So it is so important to do it that way, because you're gonna get this a lot. Oh, teacher, I don't know what to do. So probably you did it when you were back in high school, maybe. I did it a lot of times, so I don't know. But yeah, it is so important to just provide everything as clear as possible. Okay, then encourage development of native language. And this is something that it is important to continue, because they need to continue to build their native language. So, which is also known as L1. So if you ever go to ESL, to an ESL class, you'll see L1 thing. It is so important to have them talk to their parents, to anyone in their native language, because it is so important to continue building that thing. And please, 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 do not ban students from using their native language in the classroom. Because, for example, I have students who are from Congo, and whenever they see each other, they go and speak on their native language. I don't understand anything, but it is so nice to see them talking in their native language, and they feel like they're having the best fun of their lives. So please, please allow them to speak in their native language to their peers or whatever, because it is so important. And then your classroom, it needs to be like very welcoming, and you need to include things that talks about their culture. Like you can have images of their country, or with different how to say hello. One important thing is to learn how to pronounce their name. There is nothing wrong with saying it incorrect. Like one quick example, the first time I met Dr. Ryle, I said Dr. Real, because in Spanish we just pronounce vowels how they go, how you see them. So the first time I said it, he kept his he was so composed on with his face and everything. Then at the end of the classes, he said, "It's not Dr. Real, it's Dr. Ryle," and he explained so nicely, like he was so kind, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry," but nothing. The important thing is to learn how to pronounce their names, because they feel like you care for them. And then there are multiple things that you can do also to welcome your classroom. The next thing is to connect. There's nothing more beautiful than having a connection with a student. When you have that sort of connection, that those students can go to you and tell you their problems, their personal things, They're asking for advice for either classes, boyfriend, girlfriends, anything. Those sort of connections can help not only build those relationships, but can also improve their educational and language development. Um, and it is so awesome to have those sort of connections, and also being able to understand their culture. And one quick example of this is that back on Christmas, actually yesterday, I was talking with my students and I said, so how many of you celebrate Valentine's Day? And only three of them raised their hand. Only three of all my students. And I was like, oh, so that's why you're not like so hyped and wearing red shirts and everything. And they said, no, we don't do that. We do different things, and we have different things that we celebrate. And that's something so important to understand about their cultures. Yeah. Activate and build. Probably you have heard this before. Activate prior knowledge. And you'll be like, how do I do it? You can use videos, you can use pictures, you can use graphic organizers. You can do so many things to activate that prior knowledge, and then go and expand to whatever they had and use it in your classroom or any other content class. And it is so, so important. It is hard, but it is awesome. So plan and implement. One of the most important thing is to plan accordingly to ESL students. Again, in your classroom, you might have multiple and a very diverse class, ESL students, ECE students, etc. And we need to plan ahead of what things are going to help, what things might not. We need to do a lot of scaffolding, which, by the way, scaffolding, you will use it, but not for the whole semester, not for the whole year. It's going to be a temporary thing, because you are trying to get them to a certain level that you were like, if everybody else is here and your ESL student is here, you're going to start with little assignments, the same topic, but a little bit less than the others, until you see that the student actually can go ahead and do like the rest of the students. If you're a science teacher, you can use Realia, and you might use it a lot, but use real things that they can touch, things that they can see, that they can manipulate. And this doesn't only go for elementary school. This can go for middle school, high school, anywhere. So please, please. And of course, technology. As you know, technology is a big thing, and we need to keep using it as long as we can, because it's awesome. And then later tonight, I'm going to show you how many things you can do with technology. So if you're a math teacher, I'm going to try to, I'm almost done. I promise. I'm not going to get that boring. With math teachers, are some things that you can do. I'm not going to go over everything, but for example, explain that different words can be used for the same function, like some add, plus, combine. As you know, you can use that in multiple things. You can use word walls, use pictures. Like I said earlier, you can use manipulatives. Explain that words have multiple meanings, and this is an important one. For example, number 6, you have that block, could be these blocks, but also the block that you can find in a city. And it is so important to do that. And yeah, all of those things that you can also see. If you're a math teacher, I'm not gonna go again over all of this, but you can use any of these resources and tools to help the student. They can practice on their own. There's so many things that they can do extra to help them understand your content a little bit better. If you're a science teacher, you can focus on science-specific terms and be as specific as possible. Because remember, the language for some ESL students is so limited that you need to go with very specific and very basic words so they can understand a little bit better these words, right? There are multiple things that you can do, which some of these examples, I'm not going to talk about it because later I will explain a little bit better. But this is something you can do. And again, if you're a science teacher, these resources are amazing for your students to practice and get better at whatever thing you're teaching in that moment. And then if you use YouTube, I use YouTube a lot, and some channels that you can use is like CNN, Crash Course, TED Ed, Above the Noise, and some scaffoldings is that as here, as in Google Slides, you can turn on captions. You can adjust speed so you can speak a little bit slower. You can also translate captions, which it doesn't have every language, but still, if you have the language, you can translate it. And it has also a transcript. So you have multiple things that you can do with YouTube to help support any student, not only ESL students. And this is probably my favorite tool. One of the biggest problems with ESL students is the reading. They either take a lot of time to read, or they need someone reading to them because that's how they understand a little bit better. And this is called Immersive Reader. This works with Word, a PDF or something. And what it does is basically it reads for the student. And you can, I don't know if you can see this. It has colors to tell that is a noun, what is a verb. And it goes by, it is so amazing. Kids love it. You'll love it because it will help the students so much with the reading and understanding of whatever thing you're teaching at the moment. Lastly, we have, I'm sorry, I promised that this is like three slides more. Between all of this, these are other scaffoldings and things that you can do to support your students. I will share this with you so you can have it. That's why I'm not gonna go like over all of this because it's a little bit long. But yeah, before we're done, I have some suggested readings that you can use. Ways to check for understanding. Again, I will share this with you. This is a link. Right here, you have Atherton's ESL resources. This is a school I work, and I created this resource page for all my teachers. And then here they can find scaffolding ideas, what to do with their students, what not to do. And it's very extensive, but it is a good tool. Strategies for getting ELLs. And again, it is so important to understand that we need to allow students to have multiple chances, multiple opportunities to master something. And these strategies, at least on this link, it will help you understand so much about this. Colorín Colorado, which is probably one of my favorite resources. You have so many things right here that can help you understand even more on how to help them. English Learner Toolkit for State and Local Education Agencies. This is a very long PDF, but again, it gives you many resources for every state and many different things that you can do. Books. These books, I think not all of them are related to ESL, but they connect in a major way to ESL students. There are more books, there are more things, but this is the ones that I found that are very important to read if you have time. Maybe you'll read it in your classrooms, who knows? But these are so important to do it. And let's see, I think this is the last one. Yes. Now, I said this is going to be as quick as possible. And from all the things that I said, because I said a lot of things, and I'm sorry. And there are more things. I just tried to summarize everything. What is one thing or two or three that made you say wow, that made you think, say like, oh, I never like thought of that, like, or oh, this might help me in the future, um or this will be better if I do this way. I don't know, what were some things that made you say wow? The amount of languages spoken in the US, yes, that's that's true. So sadly, I thought that this was gonna put every sentence together, but yeah. The resources, Colorín Colorado, YouTube, communication slowing, the tools, the transition. So if you're seeing this cloud, this is what probably students see for the first time. They see English words, like a bunch of words that they don't know what it is. Yes. So all of this, you know what word just got in my head? Realize. And I think realizing that for us, because I'm including myself, I'm an ESL product. Um, it is so hard to understand some things and to use the language as it is. Yeah, that's excellent. I love all of this, everything, nothing. I'm gonna say thank you for listening to me. I would love to speak more about this, but I don't want to use more of your time. There are different strategies. There are more books to read, more strategies, more scaffolding ideas. There are tons of things that you can do. I try to provide you some of the things that I like to use, some of the things that might not work, might not work. But again, as everything, as every content, as every teacher, as every student, we are all different, and we either teach differently, we make connections differently. You just need to find your path. Again, thank you. If you have any questions, please, I'll be more than happy to answer them in the chat. You can unmute yourself if we have time and ask any question, or you can send me an email to hecardonaromero@asbury.edu. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And again, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
That was wonderful.
Oh
Everyone
my.
give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. I think we have, well, first of all, I have a question. What do you have your students, like, what name do you have them call you?
So they either call me G or Cardona.
Mr.
So I
Cardona?
allow them, yes, I allow them to use whatever name they think is easier. Because my name is so hard to say. And my name is Gamaliel, right? So for them, it's so hard to say Gamaliel. And in my country, just to give you a little bit of background, in my country, calling a teacher by the last name is not normal. Like we are called by our first name. It is very common. So that's why I allow my students to either call me by my first name, last name, or use G in this case.
I'm glad that you said that, because one of your PowerPoint slides said to call the students by their names and not give them a nickname. And here I am feeling so bad because I told Willow to call you Mr. G, and I was like, I gave you a nickname.
No, you're good.
Okay. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. We did have a request, which I was going to ask you anyways, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you want to share your presentation, if you want to send it to Dr. Ryle, and we could send
will.
that out to our students because it was phenomenal. So I think that would be a great resource for all of us to use.
Yes, I'm also gonna send like the actual resource page that I created, so it could be a
Oh,
little bit
thank
easier.
you.
And I have a question in the chat. So, like, how can classroom teachers best support in the school? Well, you can. It all depends, like the need of the student, because again, every student will be so different. And first of all, we need to find um, what things is the student struggling with, and then with your ESL teacher, you guys can create a plan to help that student. And that's how you can probably best support that. Wait. Oh, one thing, and this has happened to me so many times. So I go to a classroom and I offer support to teachers, and they say, "Well, yeah, this is the math assignment that they're doing. This is a copy for you. Can you please help the student?" Yeah, I will be more than happy to help the student, but I don't know anything about math. So it is so important that you can provide the ESL. If you're asking the ESL teacher to support the student with you in the classroom, please, it will be so awesome to provide the teacher with like the answers or an explanation, because we don't know a lot. I'm not good at science. I'm not good at math. If you ask me anything about history, I probably won't be able to answer. I'll Google it. But please provide teachers with the answers so they can help better that student. And the second thing is that most of the times we don't speak their language, and sometimes, and it is very common to think, oh, since you are the ESL teacher, you also speak Kinyarwanda. No, we don't. Sadly, most of us only speak English. That's it. So yeah, that's how you can help them.
And most of these kids are going to graduate here in May, and you've been to a number of graduate schools. Can you give a perspective on Asbury and what do you recommend for them once they graduate?
Well, I've only had graduated. I graduated in Puerto Rico, which, let me tell you, is a whole different thing than when I'm very close to graduate from Asbury. It is a whole different thing. In my experience so far has been so nice. Every professor that I had has been amazing, each one of them, and it is amazing to find that every teacher has been so wonderful, so amazing. And then the thing is that all of them help you so much. And this is not paid, by the way. This is not free promo. This is real. Like this is a real thing. Each one of them is so awesome. And Dr. Wortham and Dr. Ryle with me, they have been amazing. Especially Dr. Ryle, because we only talk about cars.
Yeah, we do talk about cars.
But yeah, it's been wonderful, and there's a lot of assignments. I'm not gonna lie, but it is they're doable. So nothing. It's been great. And also that Dr. Rao knows my wife is also an Asbury alumni. So and she's doing great. She's almost ready to graduate. So yeah.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you.
Okay, everybody, you're good to go. Thanks for a great evening. Thanks for Prof. Wortham helping us tonight. You guys have a great day tomorrow. I'll see you on March 1st.
See you guys. Great to see
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again. That was wonderful.
Yeah, it was perfect. That was
Thank you.
perfect.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.